Thank you so much for that. So you're welcome to today's class, and I'm more than happy to have you all here. Let's just say this is yesterday we talked about the mindset, right? So today we are going to be talking about proofs. So yeah, we've been talking about how we actually move from being stuck in the learning loop as a data analyst to actually becoming job ready as a data analyst. And honestly, this is an amazing topic and something that we all have to, not just hear, but also put into practice. You are officially welcome once more to Skills to Career, where we build you to become skilled, confident, and job-ready data analyst. So this is our day 2 of our mentorship class, mentorship, the 3rd edition of our mentorship, where we build you to become, job ready, right? So I'm going to go ahead and start talking on what we are going to be doing for today's session.
Welcome back. You're welcome back to the 2nd day of the journey of transformation. Can you all hear me? All right. So yesterday we talked about why you've actually been stuck. We talked about the pattern. We actually let you see the gaps, what you've been doing wrong that makes you to have been stuck in the learning loop as a data analyst. And we also made mention of what you actually needed to do right that will make you to leave that level of being learning and not graduating to landing jobs. So we talked about so many things. And today we are going to start fixing one of those biggest ones. And that is the part of proofs. So many of us are actually we are so confident by saying, oh, I am a data analyst. Now, how do you prove that you are a data analyst? You do not have a portfolio. You have not worked on a project. You cannot refer me to your website. Then how do I know? Will I just take your mere words? No employer will actually, want to risk it by just picking you or bringing you onto their business just by you saying you are a data analyst. So from the research that we have been able to gather, we see that over 79% of aspiring data analysts do not have portfolio to show to recruiters. And now the question is, how do I know that you're actually skilled at what you claim you do? So today, you are going to be in that 21% that actually does have a portfolio, because that is the essence of today's class. By the end of this class, you will understand exactly what a portfolio is, what goes into a portfolio, where a portfolio lives, and how to build one that actually gets you noticed. So you're officially welcome again to Skills to Career Mentorship Day 2 class. So what exactly is a portfolio? Let's start with the actually frequent question that, what is a portfolio? A portfolio is actually a collection of your best work that shows your skills and experience, that shows your skills and the experience, that is your ability to solve real problems. So it is not just telling people what you can do, it is showing them the proofs. And that is why I keep emphasizing on proofs, that the moment you do not have anything to actually show as evidence of what you claim you do, then it is assumed that you don't even do it. Yeah, because it is only you that knows about that skills. Nobody actually can see it. There is no evidence to show. So a portfolio is where you host your best of your work. When I'm saying the best, I'm talking about best of your work. It is not somewhere where you just actually dump anything, because that serves as your digital CV. We don't even call it CV because it's even more than a CV. It is something that serves as your entity. It shows your skills, it shows how much you know your stuff. So think of it this way. Your CV says, oh, I know Excel, but your portfolio say, here is the Excel skills that I've built. This is the problem I've worked on using Excel. If you were to be a recruiter and you're actually recruiting, a data analyst, of course, the recruiter themselves, they don't even know what being a data analyst entails. And that is what people do not know, that it is very, very easy to actually get a job in as much as you know how to display your skills effectively. Because these people that actually comes to recruit, majority of them are not even that skilled in that particular skill. They just want to see how well you are confident displaying your work. So now, imagine you presenting your portfolio as you're actually talking about your past experience. Do you know what that gives you? It actually gives you the credibility that, oh wow, this person is not just skilled, but also actually has that intentionality enough to have documented his or her work. So your portfolio actually speaks to a lot. It shows your processes. It shows how depth you are when it comes to working. And that is why I kept emphasizing that you have to put your best of work in your portfolios and not just any work. Am I communicating? So if you're actually saying, if your CV says, oh, I can clean data, I can build dashboard, I have 2 years of experience, your portfolio actually shows that instead of just telling. So recruiters do not hire CVs. Repeat after me, drop it in the chat board. Let me see. Recruiters do not hire CV. They hire they hire you that has the proofs and the portfolio. Am I communicating? Please, if you can hear me, drop an emoji. Let me see if you can hear me. Let me know you can hear me. I'm not all right. So now, recruiters do not hire CV exactly. They hire the proofs, they hire the confidence, they hire the projects, what they can see, and not just what you tell. Am I communicating? So recruiters do not hire CV, they hire proof. And a portfolio is that proof. Let me give a scenario. So there was a time when I was actually documenting my work on LinkedIn. And from there, somebody actually reached out to me and say he has seen me documenting that work, for some time now. And he just wants to hire me, honestly, because he sees the competency, he sees how much I'm actually consistent, and he sees how the reading that for every time I actually make an announcement about that project, he go ahead and check my portfolios, and he's so confident in the values I bring to the table. Honestly, I'm actually still doing that job as of now. It's been over a year now, and I'm still working with a particular client. So what am I telling you here is that your portfolio do not just show that, it actually shows your credibility. It shows how intentional you are, because it's what documents your process. And that is why whenever you are, working and you want to put some documents into your portfolio, it has to be your best of work. You have to be intentional about it. You have to make it enormous. You have to make it easy to read. You have to make it easy to understand. You have to document it efficiently. So what recruiters are actually looking for in a portfolio, what are they looking out for? Because majority of these recruiters, they are not techies, right? They do not understand the technical jargons you might have put in your portfolio. And that is why you also have to consider them when you are documenting your work. Now, when a recruiter actually opens your portfolio, they are asking 3 questions. Can this person actually identify real problems if they sees one? Can they work with data to find answers? And can they communicate what they found clearly? Those are the 3 things recruiters are looking out for. Please document that. Write it down. Whenever a recruiter is actually coming for you, be it in an interview, whether it is in your project, whatever it is you are doing, right? Always have it in mind that these people you are actually, trying to impress or trying to show your work to, they are interested in, can you identify this particular problem? If we are to have a problem in our organization, would you understand? Can you identify which exactly is the problem? Can you work with data to find the answers to the problem? And also, can you communicate what you found clearly? And that is all. They are not looking for perfections. They are actually looking for evidence that you can think, you can work, and you can communicate. Those are the major elements of a data analyst. And that is exactly what this mentorship is designed to build for you. Because for every project you complete over the next 5 weeks, is actually a portfolio piece for you. By the end of the project, you will not just have a skills, you will also have a proof that will serve as your pitch deck in the course of interviews. Now, how do you document your work for a portfolio? How do you document your work for a portfolio? So far, I've been talking about what a portfolio is, and also what are the elements that actually recruiters are looking out for in a portfolio, and also, okay, I think I've jump stepped. Okay, I think I've jump steps. And so I'm going to go back to talk about what a portfolio is not. So far I've talked about what a portfolio is. So your portfolio is not a list of your certificates. Some people actually put their certificate in their portfolio, but it's okay. But then as it sounds, it is where you document your proofs, not really abstract things, but where it actually shows rather than tell. So it is not a list of certificates. It is not a collection of tutorial screenshots. When I actually go through this data analyst portfolio, I see some people going about to screenshot other people's work and come and document it in their portfolio. Honestly, those kind of people are deceiving themselves, because you cannot explain other people's work as much as you would explain it, as much as you're going to explain it like them. I don't know how to put that, but I'm trying to say that you cannot explain other people's work like they themselves explaining that work. So something applies to you. You have to be the one to do the work. You don't go ahead and copy other people's work and come and document it in your portfolio, because there's no how you would explain it better. You cannot even understand the concept, because as you are working, you are actually training a part of your mind to that particular work you are doing, such that even if you're asked to come and talk about the work without documenting it, right, you can still say something. So for me, the past work I've done, if I'm asked to come and tell about it, I have work that I've done over 6 months, 3 months, some 1 month ago, I can still talk about it because I'm the one that did it. So that is something about authenticity. So your portfolio is not a folder of practice exercises that nobody can find. It is not where you just like dumb exercises and that is not just, cannot even amount to something. Your portfolio has to speak. It is not something you build when you are ready. It is something you build now as you are working, right? So those things are actually what makes up your portfolio. It is an evidence of doing. Your portfolio is an evidence of doing. It is what shows that you are actually capable of doing the work. You see, some people do not have much level of experience, but the kind of work they've done and they've documented in their portfolio. In fact, someone that has 5 years of experience cannot even beat them to it. Why? Because the more you actually get your hands dirty into working, the more you document, the more it sticks to your brain, and the more it actually builds up your confidence level. Of course, you are the one working on it. Imagine working on a project and you actually come across that kind of problems in a particular company you are working with. You're going to do it with your eyes closed. So your portfolio is what actually serves as an evidence of doing for you, right? Now, so let's go to how do you document your work for your portfolio? How do you document your work? Most people actually finish your project and move on. You see some people, they actually like do all of their project and just put it in their computer, saved it somewhere in their folder, and that is all. Nobody sees it. Nobody can hire you with it because you are not even showing it. I don't know what you are capable of doing. So the more you actually document your work, the more you actually make people see how organized you are, and the more they actually sees values in what you bring. Documentation is what turns your work into something a recruiter can actually seize and understand. Documentation is what turns your work into something a recruiter can actually seize and understand. So please write that down. All these things, you're supposed to have a pen by your side and a book, so that you are documenting all of these things I'm saying. So what does a documentation actually mean in a project? I want to start talking about elements on how to document your work in a project. And I'm going to also show you some proofs of that of my own particular project that I've worked on before we now move to how to now set your project, your portfolio up. So if you are still with us up to this level, let me see your emoji, let me see your identity, let me see how much you are still with us. How do you document your work in a portfolio? Now, when it comes to documentations, it means you are writing down clearly and professionally. You are writing down clearly and professionally because you are not the only one that is seeing that work, right? Other people are coming to see whatever it is you have documented. So if you just document things in a unprofessional manner, it's actually speaking to the kind of person you are, right? So there are some elements that has to be in your portfolio when it comes to documentation of it. Because honestly, what are you putting in your portfolio? It is the documentation of your work you're putting in your portfolio. So now, the first one is that what problem you were solving. In the process of documenting your work, some things has to be very, very clear. And that is the problem you are solving in the course of that project. Number two is where that data comes from. I'm going to show you evidence of all these things I'm saying because so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Where the data came from. Your portfolio has to reflect where your data comes from. For instance, now in the course of this mentorship, for every of the projects you're actually working on, there will be sources of the data from it for you. Probably maybe it's from Central Bank of Nigeria, it's from agriculture, something. Wherever the data source is from, you are going to have it in the course of your task that will be attached to you, like that will be sent to you for you to work on. Because you have to input this in your portfolio. Another thing is, what did you do with it? And that is where the steps comes in. You have to document your step. So whenever you are working on a project, you have to write down those steps. What was the first thing you do? Then what? How did you clean your data? What functions did you use? Why did you use the function? What formula did you use in cleaning that particular data? What was the next thing you did after that? How many were the data before? After cleaning, how many are it now? Why did you remove those irrelevant data? It has to be detailed. Attention to details is part of what recruiters are hiring for. So it is very, very important that you make it reflect in your portfolio. Number 4 is what tools you used and why. You said you use Excel in this course of this analysis. Why did you use Excel? What part of the functions did you use? At the point where you switched to Power BI, why did you use Power BI there? When did you use SQL? All of these things are actually something that it has to be well documented in your portfolio. Another thing is what you found, which is the insights. The insight you found in the course of your analysis. What would you recommend? The reason why you are hired as a data analyst in the first place is for you to dig the problem and ensure that we are actually solving the right problem. You have to even be sure that problem even exists in the first place, right? From the data, you have to identify what the problem is. You have to be able to analyze it and ensure that for every of the analysis you did, every of the insights actually answers the problem. So that is why it's very, very important that you have business questions first drafted out in your analysis. Right? You have your business questions first drafted out, and these are the things that this mentorship will help you to put together. Because of this mentorship, you are not just working on a project. You are building your confidence alongside. You are going to know how to put together, like the processes that data analysis itself entails. You cannot know all of these things in your learning. Yes, learning does not put together the processes. You only get to know that processes in the course of practicing, in a structured practice. Am I communicating? So, and that is why I keep saying that for anyone who is interested in moving from that level of, I just know these tools, to now moving to the level of, I am a data analyst and I am confident in what I bring to this table, then the mentorship is for you. Because really, all these things I'm just saying are just like little, it's just a tip of the iceberg of what you're going to be experiencing in the course of the mentorship. So I'm going to go ahead and be showing you all of these things, right? So now, the other part is actually what you would recommend. Recommendation is very, very important in the course of your documentation. or even in the course of your presentation. Because the reason why you are brought on board as a data analyst, just like I've been saying, is that you are coming to ensure
they are investing their resources in the right solutions. So, and that is why you are brought on board as a data analyst. So if you are not doing all of that, then you already failed as a data analyst. So you have to ensure that your portfolio also reflects your depth, how much you actually know your stuff. And that is why I just made mention of all of these, processes in documentation of your portfolio. So you have to have them written down. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now for you to see what a portfolio actually looks like. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Yes, I can see it.
what a portfolio actually looks like. This is a GitHub. A GitHub is one of the sites that you can use to host your portfolio. So everything I've been talking about, let me just show you a sample of it. So we're still going to talk about how to document, how to set up this particular portfolio. I just want you guys to know, what a portfolio actually looks like. So these are some of the projects I worked on over time. So I'm just going to share you one of the projects and see what I'm talking about when it comes to documentation of your work in your portfolio. So all of these things I've been talking about is what you're also going to be putting into practice in the course of the mentorship. Is what you are going to be working on, and you're also going to be seeing it for yourself. So when it comes to portfolio, in the documentation, I talk about the problem you are solving has to be clear. So now this is my home portfolio and I'm working on unicorn company analysis. So now if you come across this portfolio, right, and you actually read the first description here, it's already talking about the project itself. So this project analyzes $1 billion unicorn companies using Microsoft Excel. It explores key trends such as investment pattern, industry dominance, and this like that. The analysis includes data cleaning, modeling, visualization, and insight generation. So now, this just talk about the overview of what I worked on. So now, this is my report, and this is exactly what a report usually should look like. So this is more like a Word document, but on GitHub, it is called a repository. Right? It is called a repository. And every project you actually, document or you work on, you host them in a repository. So this particular one is a repository I created, and it is called Unicorn Companies Analysis. And you can see, right? You can see my table of contents, right? And this is everything. So wherever you actually want to go, maybe you just click on about the data set, it automatically takes you to where the about the data set is. So now this is how much you have to be intentional when it comes to building and documenting your work in your portfolio. So now this is the introduction. So one of the things I said that your portfolio actually have to reflect what problem you are solving. Can you see? This is the introduction, right? This is the project description. So this project description already involves everything you need to know about the project. So this unicorn companies, it is a private firm and it is valued. A unicorn companies actually, they are private firms. It is valued around 1 billion or more. So it shows that anything unicorn, they are actually companies that are private firms and they are valued at $1 billion. So the moment your companies are actually got to that point of $1 billion, it is actually a unicorn companies. So this project is aimed to analyze those kind of firms, their growth, their pattern, their ROI for investors, their investor influence and regional distribution. So the person that actually did this project for them was actually an investor. So these people actually they belong to categories of investors and they want to know which projects or which company should they invest their money in. Do you understand? So this data set is actually sourced from Marvin Analytics and it contains information on this. Kind of that I talked about where your data comes from. So anybody that actually wants to know about these things and want to be confirmed even if I'm doing the right thing, they can easily go and check the source of the data. So now the project's aim, it shows the main objectives of this project. Right? So, and also shows the key business question. I talked about key business questions that you as an analyst, whenever you are working on a particular, analysis, you have to ensure that you first draft out your business question that will serve as overview of what you now bring about the insight. For every of your insights, have to answer a particular business question that solves one of the major problems you are working on as a data analyst. Right? Then I talk about the data sets. Can you see? The data set contains this 10 rows, 1074. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yes, ma'am, we can see it.
So the data set contains 1074 rows, 10 columns, and all of these. So all of these are actually the columns in that particular data set. I talked about how I imported the data set to Excel. I already said that I used Excel for this analysis. I talked about how I prepared the data set for cleaning and transformation. There was a point I was saying what you have to talk about where your data came from, what you did with it step by step. And this is the step by step I am talking about. Preparation of your data sets. I talked about how I cleaned it. I removed duplicates. I assigned correct data. I even wrote the functions there. Because the people that are coming to see what you are doing, these people are not techies. And you have to show them, you have to let them know that you know your stuffs. you have to like document it to the T, right? This is the data modeling, because this particular data I actually did a modeling for it. It was about three tables or thereabout. So I did modeling. I connected them together for me to be able to like analyze it easily. And these were the data analysis I did. These were the KPIs. These were the insight that was actually showing in the analysis. So the data visualization was also in Excel. I created two dashboard, overview dashboard and an insights dashboard. And these are overviews of the dashboard. Under the overview dashboard, I wrote all of the charts that are actually like created for each and what each actually stands for. Like the KPI cards now, it actually contains the average ROI, average years of unicorn, and everything like that, right? So if you want to view my dashboard now, you just have to click here and to take you to where my dashboard is. Can you see? Can you see what a portfolio should actually do? This was my dashboard that I created for this particular one. This was the overview dashboard. It shows the average ROI, average year of unicorn, numbers of companies, numbers of investors, and everything like that. So let us go back to where we were coming from. So I also like integrated, what's it called? I set this link right still under this portfolio. So basically what I did here was that I first uploaded the images of those reports. I'm sorry, of those what's it called, charts. I now linked it under my report, right? So I'm going to still show you how to set up your portfolio just like this. So these were the insights. You know, I talked about insights, that part of what your documentation should contain is the insights from the data analysis. So this actually shows that, okay, industries with the highest ROI, they are fintech companies. I'm telling the investor that I'm working for that, should in case you want to actually go by investing with industries with the highest ROI, fintech companies as highest ROI, mobile and telecommunication companies as hardware lead and hardware lead in ROI performance, something like that. Also this one, industries with the most investments, top investors, top unicorn companies by ROI, countries producing the most unicorns. So anybody that's actually coming to this particular report now, they are not just convinced by what they see, but they also have overview and understanding of what I documented. And that is what your report should do. Report should be very comprehensive and be very, very easy to still understand for anyone who is not actually a techie. And these are the recommendations I gave from the analysis. I gave the recommendation for each of my stakeholders. One of my stakeholders are the investors that will be using this data, that will be using the analysis. Another of my stakeholders are startups that actually wants to invest and probably looking at what industry can they invest in or they want to start their business in. Another of my stakeholders are policymakers, those that actually want to make policies, that want to support startup in all of these companies and their countries. Another of my investors, of my stakeholders are entrepreneurs, those that are contributing to launch in cities like London, Shanghai, San Francisco. So all of these things actually shows all of the insights and analysis and what to do from here. So as a data analyst, your role does not end from just analysis. You also have to like give your stakeholders the next step of what to do. And the funny thing is, all of our students from the last cohort, they also created robust portfolios like this. And it is not a copy and paste something, no. They worked on it. They identify their stakeholders for each of the projects. They ensure that they did the analysis and they provide recommendation for each of them. And they document their work just like this. Well comprehensive, well detailed, and also very, very easy to understand. Do you guys now have understanding of what a portfolio should look like? Am I communicating? Can you still hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right. So now let's start to how do you now set up your portfolio? So what is GitHub exactly? What is GitHub? So before we start anything, let me make sure that everyone actually understands what a GitHub is. A GitHub is an online platform, and this is what a GitHub is. What you are seeing currently on your screen is what a GitHub is. It is an online platform where people store, share, and showcase the best of their work, especially code, data project, and documentation. Funny thing is that the techies, they actually use GitHub more. The likes of UI UX designer, the website designers, because it's actually kind of professional, and it's when you actually attach your GitHub to your CV, it brings some professionalism to you, because every recruiter understands what a GitHub is. Do you understand? Now, GitHub is like a Google Drive. For some of us that are actually familiar with the Google Drive, GitHub is like a Google Drive. I'm going to explain. Now, for every of the repositories that you see. I think I have about 13 of my repositories here. I think I have about 13 repositories that I've created over time. Those repositories, they are like your folder in your Google Drive. Each of it like this, if I should click on it, it now has sub file inside of it. That means that this thing itself is called repository. Everything you open, I don't think I have much open on this particular one. Everything you open, every of the files that is on each of this repository, it is called a README file. It is called a README file. And it is more like the file you actually like put in your folder on your Google Drive. Right? Now, it has to be visible to the entire world. And you also have to like include your GitHub, your portfolio link on your CV, and also in your LinkedIn. There's a place you can actually you can just input your link for people to actually see, because it is there for it to be displayed. Now, why do data analysts actually use GitHub? Because you work on a laptop. If you actually like, just working on your project and you are storing them on your laptop, nobody will see it. So with GitHub, right, documenting your work in a GitHub portfolio, your work will be live and accessible. Now, if I should give you the link of my GitHub, you can just go ahead and check everything I have done. Nothing is hidden. The way I'm saying it like this, you can also see it. The only thing that you cannot edit it from your own end. But you can see in fact, if you go to GitHub and just search for Kausara 10, you'll see all my work. So it is it is live and accessible to everyone. Recruiters can find and review it there. One link shows everything you've done. Imagine, look at just how I just clicked on that link and it took me to my dashboard. I might even have this dashboard and I might just have misplaced it somewhere on my computer, but look at it live in my GitHub. So your work will stay with you forever. Just like you document in your Google Drive now, nothing will take it away. In as much as you have access to that particular mail, nothing will take away your work in your Google Drive. Nothing will take it away from it. It can never be deleted except you go and delete it. So you stand out whenever you have a portfolio. Now, so why is GitHub specifically for portfolio and for data? And just like I've been saying earlier, that whenever you actually document your work, it actually makes you stand out. Whenever you now use platforms like GitHub, it actually gives you some professionalism, because every recruiters, understand what a GitHub is, and they are like it kind of give you some, reputation and some kind of intentionality, right? So now, why is this thing actually, something that is much more easier to do, and also very possible for you to also have something like this? Whenever you join this mentorship, or if you actually join this particular mentorship, you are not just going to be working. You're going to have the full experience of not just setting up a portfolio on GitHub, but also building it intentionally. Because for everything you actually work on, it is what amounts and build your is what amounts to build your confidence level. Do you all understand? So by by week 4 of your project, right? By week 4, because this is actually a 5 weeks mentorship class. By week 4 of your task, you're going to document and project your work professionally and host it on GitHub just like this. So by the time you actually graduate, every of your team member will see your work. You can also put your work, your link to your portfolio live on your what's it called, on your LinkedIn, on your CV, and every other place you want to share it. So now let's move to the point of setting up your portfolio on GitHub. So far we have been able to talk about what a GitHub is, what is the relevancy of a GitHub, why should you document your work, how to document your work. So I'm not going to be talking about that again. I'm going to be moving next to how to create and set up your profile on GitHub. All right, so if you are still here, let me see your emojis, let me see your hands, let me see how excited you are, and we move into the next stage. You have to create an account. And how do you create an account on GitHub? And enter HTTPS, just like you're seeing on my screen, HTTPS, then this semicolon //github.com. Can you see it just like that? And you enter it. So because you do not have a profile with them already, it's going to bring something like create an account, sign in, just like that. It's going to be something like that. Somebody can give it a try from their end. So let me go back to it again. You're going to go to your tab, right? Then HTTPS, then this two semicolon /github.com, github.com. Then you enter. I hope you grabbed it. So after that, it's going to bring you to a canvas, just like the way you normally sign up now. If you have not signed into if you are signing into a particular platform for the first time, it's going to bring something like enter, create an account, or sign in. Then you create an account. You click sign up. You're going to click sign up. So when you click sign up, you're going to enter a username, email address, and password. So don't worry, the particular message on this will be sent on the group shortly, so that you all can see how to, create something, how to actually, set up the first part. So I'm going to be dropping this particular message on the group after the class. So you're going to enter your username, email address, and a password. Now, your username on GitHub will actually be something like your first name, then dot, maybe your initial name, like your initial surname. Like you can say maybe your name is Ayomide Adetutu. It can be Ayomide.A, right? Ayomide.A. Because GitHub does not accept some special character like comma, semicolon, and some other ones like that in your username. So you can use something like Ayomide10. If Ayomide10 is taken, you can just say Ayomide.Adetutu. So just to ensure that you actually put a name that has not been taken, and your name, because you'll be using that name to create your README file. Yeah. So now, after you've completed the process, you enter your username, you enter your password, then it will ask you to complete the verification step. They're going to confirm your name, your email, and they'll send you a link that your email has been confirmed. Now, after that, it's going to bring you to a canvas just like this one that you are seeing currently on my screen, just like the an account with them. The rest is simple. So this is just the way the interface will look like. Now, the next thing will be to set up your profile. The first thing is to create your GitHub account, which I just explained. The next thing will be to set up your profile. Now, how do you set up your profile? It will bring you to a canvas just like this one. You're going to see a round circle like this at the right corner. You click on this particular round circle. Can anyone see this round circle? If you can see this round circle, please let me see your emojis. I can't see your emojis, oh. There's only one person. There's only one person that can see that round circle. Is that it? If we are not interactive, we are not going to move forward. I'm finding how my battery is just at 42%. Once it's off, it is off. Because you guys are not giving me the energy I needed. I'm not seeing the emojis. Queen Hell, can you see it?
Yes, I can see the emojis here. Someone said you cannot see the circle you talk about.
You have to let me know if you can see the circle or not. Please, this is an interactive class. I'm not the only one that is supposed to be talking. Whenever we ask a question, you respond. Whenever we ask you to react, please react so that we can move to the next thing on time. So if you cannot see the right circle, can you see where I'm hovering my mouse? Can you see this particular hand that I'm using to hover my mouse like this? Can you see it? If you can see it, unmute your mic and say you can see it, please.
We can see. Yes, ma'am.
I can see it as well.
So you're going to click on this circle here. So once you click on it just like that, you're going to see this particular pop-up box that shows your name. Of course, this particular Kausara 10, it was the username that I input, and that was what I have to say. That's what I said. You have to make your username your name and just maybe some numbers, or maybe you can use what's it called, hyphen, then your initial surname. Just like I can say Kausara hyphen hi, because my name is Kausara Ibrahim. I can say Kausara hyphen hi, something like that. So you will now come to profile. Is it even profile or be settings? You will go to settings. Let's go back to it. You're going to click on that circle. You go to settings. Now, you are now in settings, right? So you can now come here and fill in all your information. Because this particular information that you fill in here, it will appear on your GitHub profile. It will appear on your GitHub profile. Let me show you where it will appear. See, it will appear here. Can you see this place? Kausara Ibrahim, Kausara 10. Can you see this place that I'm hovering my mouse? Can you all see it?
Yes, I can see it.
All right, so now let's go back. So you have to write your name, Kausara Ibrahim. Then your public mail, that is where you want people to contact you with, what you want them to contact you with, and the kind of mail, a professional mail that you actually have accessibility to. Then you write your bio. So your bio is just more like what you actually put on your LinkedIn. That particular headline that you put on your LinkedIn, you serve as your bio here. That headline, your profession, like data analyst. I help startup companies to analyze their data and provide insights, recommendations, something like that. So that would be what would be in your bio. Then your pronoun, this particular pronoun is like, are you a she or a her? Sorry, are you a she or a he? Something like that. So this all is usually your website link. If you have a website, you can just like put it back. You can just like put it here. So now all of these parts are your social account, not like your LinkedIn. I actually put in my LinkedIn. So the moment you input a particular account, it will display the logo of that particular app. For instance, but if you should put in Facebook link here, it will show Facebook, it will show Facebook logo. Then this company can actually be where you are working, maybe like a particular company you are working, maybe like Coca-Cola, maybe like Pepsi, whatever it is you are working, maybe it is Deloitte, wherever it is you are working, is the company you're going to be putting here. Then your location, I think I should even put skills to career, I should put skills to career limited. So your location will be where your company is located, right? That will be your location. So then you're going to now click on update. My own is actually update. Your own will just be create. So because I already have that existing profile, that's why it's telling me to update. In your own case, to tell you to create, right? And whenever you are done with that, you're going to see it in your display. So how do you see that? You are going to go back to that particular round step where you were coming from. You click on it, and instead of going to settings, we went to settings the first part. So instead of going to settings, you just come to profile, right? You come to profile and you are going to see everything you've created right here. Can you see the skills to career limited? I just changed it to. Can you see it here? So everything you worked on, it will be here, this small corner. Am I communicating? Can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
All right. So now, after doing that, the next thing is now, what you just did is that you set up your what's it called, your profile, right? That part of them getting to know about you, your name, your what you do, and also the company you work in, and lot like that. So that was just what we did now. So now the next thing we want to do is now to create your profile repository. So we call that about me. Let me show you what it is. So for anyone who actually search for my name on GitHub, this is what you are going to be saying. All of this is what you're going to be saying. These things are not automatic. All these things you are seeing here, I set them up. If you are just setting up your profile, yours will be empty. It will be blank. Nothing will be there. Nothing will be in your own, like if you are just setting up your own profile. Do you understand? So it's going to be blank, right? Except for if you just like input your name. This one that we just set up just now, that one will be showing. But you see this one, I Kausarat, I there, I am Kausarat, I am a business analyst, I am a this, I am a that, all of these ones. I'm the one that set it up myself. So there are ways for you to actually set it up, and there are ways for you to like put them together. This thing is actually called About Me page. So we are at the point of resetting up our GitHub profile. Just like I said earlier, we already created an account. We already set up our profile. So the next thing is to create your portfolio repository, also known as About Me page. Portfolio repository, also known as About Me page. Now, how do you do that? Oh my God. First off, you would come to this plus. Whenever you actually finish setting up your profile, you are going to have a canvas just like this. The only difference between what this one looks like and what your own will look like is that all of this I am customer, like all of these things will not be in your own. It will just be blank. Do you understand? It will just be blank. Now, we want to go about setting up this About Me for you, also known as Read Me. About Me, what did I even call it? About Me what? About Me page, right? About Me page, also known as a portfolio repository. Yeah. So let's go ahead and set it up. You will come to this plus. Can you see this plus? Where my hand is currently. Can you see this plus?
Yes, I can see it.
You click on it. Then you click on new repository. Now, what is a repository? So I'm going to be doing this, and I'm showing you, I'll also be explaining some of those concepts. So what is a repository? Do I have it here? Okay, I don't have it here. So now a repository is actually like a folder. It stores everything for one project or your portfolio. Just like I said earlier, that it is where you put in all of your files for that particular project. Now, I myself, I have about 3 repositories I've created, about 13 repositories I've created over time. So every of these repository, it actually has a folder of its own, right? Now, this repository, for instance, these 13 repositories, so every of them, it has files on inside of it. So repositories itself are like a folder where you now store your files. Do you understand? They are like a folder where you store your files. Am I communicating? So now we want to create this one that you see here, Coursera 10. This is the repository we want to create. And that is the one that is called About Me repository. About Me repository. Because everything you are seeing here now, right? Let me go back. Everything you are seeing here, I am Coursera, it is about me. What I do, my approach, what I bring to the table, my core, oh my God. My core competencies and all like that. They are about me, right? So the next thing here will be for us to now create that. So how do we do that? You're going to go to this place. I already told you that you're going to click on this plus, then create new, then you come to repository name and write that's your username. You know, I said my username is Coursera 10. So you have to store that your username somewhere in your head, because that is what you're going to be using as your repository name for you to create that kind of About Me repository. This is only applicable to creating About Me repository. Please note that down. It is only applicable for creating About Me repository. That is the only when you are going to use your username as the repository name. So let me go ahead and create it. Coursera 10. Now, see what it shows. Coursera 10 is a special repository that you can use to add a README to your GitHub profile. Make sure it is public and initialize it with a README to get started. Now, because I already have Coursera 10 as a repository, it will not allow me to go ahead and create another one. On GitHub, you cannot save the same repository. You cannot save repository with the same name twice. On GitHub, you cannot save repository with the same name twice, because I already have Coursera 10 saved as my repository. I cannot have it created again. But for you, who is just like starting out to create your About Me repository, once you enter your username, it will make it, it will actually make it in such a way that you are going to have it right on your initial page, just like this one, right? So after you create it, I'm going to show you how to create it actually. After you create it, right, it's going to look just like this one. Although you really want to enter all this information yourself, right? But then it's going to be displaying on your first page on your portfolio. Whenever anybody come across it, they are going to see it. Just like you are seeing Coursera 10 readme.md like this. So now, after you might have written the name, right? Oh my, so sorry. After you might have written the name, you will now come down like this. You will come down. This description, you're going to write About Me there. About Me. You will now come down. You'll come down like this. And there is a place you're going to on. This Add README. Under configuration, you're going to see Add README. You are going to on it if it has been off. You are going to on it, right? So the moment you on it, that is when you are going to be able to have a canvas where you are going to enter all of this information. If you do not turn on the README, you will not have that Word document, right? That Word document under GitHub is called README file. So you're not going to have something like this, more like a canvas for you to enter your information. So you have to ensure that before you go ahead and create this repository, you have to on this, right? So now I'm not going to be creating it because I already have one, but I'm going to show you on how to create a repository, but it will not be this kind of special repository, because creating this special repository, it has to be your username, right? So that is the only thing that differentiates special repository, also known as About Me repository, and the normal repository that you're going to use to host your project. Now let's go to the one we are going to use to host our project. So for the sake of this class, I'm going to be naming that repository Test. Now, anything you want to name your repository has to be the name of that particular project you are working on. Anything you want to name your repository, right, has to be the name of that particular project you are working on. Probably you are working on a sales on Alpha Bank analysis, or maybe unicorn companies analysis. You have to write it as the title of your repository. Do you understand? So for instance, now if I want to like talk about this one we have been using, where is it? Unicorn company analysis. Guys, that is the name of the repository. So this unicorn companies analysis is the name. So now I'm going to be naming this particular one we want to create as Test. I'll just give it test, or let me just give it test so that it is differentiated from the repository I already have. So test is saying it is available. So the moment that particular name has not been created before, you're going to see it has been available. Then you come to description. Now, what is description? Description is talking about that thing that people will see whenever they actually click on that your repository. This particular thing, this project analyzes billion-dollar company using Microsoft Excel. So that is your description. I think I've been jumping step. Let me follow my document. So we've talked about creating a repository README, right? About README file. So now I think I need to walk you guys through what are the things that have to be in your About Me. Yeah, your About Me page. There are some things that has to be in your About Me page, such as your name, your About Me, your core skills, and all like that. Don't worry, I'll be sharing with you as well how to write all of these things. So let me just walk you through what are the things that are supposed to be in your About Me. You are actually working on this your special repository, also known as your About Me, there's some things that has to be there. Number one is actually more like about you, and you can just start with I there. I am Kausaras, I am this, I am that. This is what I bring to the table. I am a data analyst. I help businesses. I help businesses analyze their data and recommend a practical solution. I work with teams. This. Those are the things that will be in this particular place. Not like that particular part of your LinkedIn. That's About Me part of your LinkedIn. So your About Me repository should also contain what you do. So what are the things you actually do? You actually help companies. Yeah, you're going to talk about the kind of people you work with. Maybe you work with tech companies. You made mention of it. Maybe you work with manufacturing companies. I actually help manufacturing companies. I work with tech companies, and these are the things I do. You have to actually make it very, very, interesting. So another thing here is actually my approach. So my approach is just talking about how I actually work with these people. So I try to ensure that I first understand your problem. I help you to do this. I help you to do that. So more like just talking about what are the ways you actually help them in the course of the problem you are solving. So another thing that your README should contain is what I bring to the table. So what are the things you bring to the table? More like your skills. Like I just rename it as what I bring to the table. These are like your skills. Do you understand? So what are the values? It's more like the kind of values to help businesses move from point A to Z. You actually help them to understand what is going on in their companies. You ensure that teams stay aligned. You support full project delivery. You help in recommending the right solution for the stakeholders and blah, blah, blah like that. So these are my core competencies. So your core competencies are more like the skills, the tools, and what are the things you can actually work with effectively. This can be your communication. You have a very, very good communication about stakeholder communication, documentation, reporting, all of that. And these are my technical skills. These are my soft skills, and these are the projects I've worked on. I am a business analyst, and so I've worked on so many business analysis projects and also data analytics projects. Now, those are the things your portfolio should actually contain, right? More like I say portfolio, your About Me. These are the things it should contain. So now, let me see, where are we currently? So we are at the point of creating a repository for you to see how we actually enter all of this information. And I'll be using some sample here. I think I have a sample here. I'll be using it for, I think I have a GitHub Markdown. So I'll be using some of the information I'm going to be using to create in this particular repository for you guys to understand what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and create it. So now it is assumed that this person name has actually been saved as Aisha because her name is Aisha. And the kind of repository we want to create now is to be Aisha 10, not like Aisha 10. But in your own case, it's going to actually be your username. You create new repository. So I'm no longer creating tests. I'm going to be creating Aisha. So that you can know that when you want to create a special repository, you actually use your name, and also it has to be your username actually. It has to be your username. So the reason why it is telling me Aisha 10 is available is just because I do not have a repository named Aisha 10, but this particular repository will not be on my first canvas, just like the way it was initially, because it is not my username. So the reason why it is your own, which you want to create, will actually be showing on the canvas, such that whenever anybody comes onto your portfolio, they see it is because it is your username and it makes it a special repository. You will see that this one is not showing it is a special repository. This is just like a normal repository that we would normally create if we are actually have to upload our projects in it. So you're going to go to the description. So the description here, I'll just name it About Me. Mind you, this particular sample will actually serve as two purposes. I'm going to be using it to explain how to create About Me and also how to upload your projects and also document your projects. Then you're going to on this add README. You have to on it. Always ensure that you on it because that is where you are going to enter all of those documents or information. They're going to create a repository. So whenever you create a repository, it will actually tell you a repository has been created and you're going to see what it looks like. Can you see? So it is telling me Aisha 10. Now, this thing is just a folder. We have just started creating a file inside. So just read me, right? Any file you want to create now. For instance, now, if you want to create a file inside of this repository, you are going to come within this repository that we had. Can you see this plus? There's a difference between this plus and this plus. Can you see my screen? If you can see my screen, let me know you can see my screen. Hello?
Yes, ma'am, we can see your screen.
So there's a difference between this plus and this plus. This plus is for creating new repository. Why this one is for creating a file inside the repository you already created. You know, repository is a folder. We don't want to create files inside that folder. Am I communicating? So you have to come within that repository you created and create a new file. So we're going to create a new file. And I'm going to name this particular file. We are going to name it what name can we give it? We're going to name it let's see. Can you see? This is what the canvas looks like. Can you see what GitHub canvas looks like? We are going to put all of this information. So I'm going to name it about me, not like about me, since that is what we actually give the name of the repository. So, but just like I've been explaining, that if you actually have to create a document or be a project, that particular repository name we created earlier, Aisha 10, will be the name of your project. Maybe it is a unicorn companies analysis. That will be the name. Now, this folder we now want to create now, this file we now want to create now, you're not going to name it, maybe it is a report. You're going to give it report. You're going to give it a name like a report. Let me show you what I'm trying to talk about. This unicorn companies analysis is the name of the repository, and that is what serves as Aisha 10 in what we just created. Now, these particular things, like you are seeing here, unicorn companies reports, that is just what we now want to create. That is what we want to create now. So these reports will serve as where you are going to now document all of your processes of that particular project. How there is no mix-up, right? So you're going to come here. Now, in this case, I'm going to be calling it about me. About me. You can also name it, maybe if you're actually working on sales analysis, you can just name it report, sales analysis reports. Mind you, this scenario that I'm giving, I'm using it to explain two things simultaneously. The first one is actually your special repository, which is your about me page. The second one is now setting up your project, like documenting your project on GitHub. So now this name about me, if you actually have to create a repository for the ones that will show on your canvas, more like when people come onto your portfolio, what they see, this is what you're going to show about me. And if you actually have to be documenting your project, this particular part will be called the name of the report, probably sales report. Whatever it is you're working on, e-commerce, Adepeju e-commerce company report, whatever name of that project plus report, just put it there. But always ensure that you had .md. GitHub has languages it understand. And MD, just like you have your document saved as PDF, you have your docs, document saved as DOCS, right? You have Excel file saved as XLS. GitHub also have its own language it understand, and that is .md. Now, let's go to now how to enter informations on GitHub. If you are still with me, please let me see your emoji. Queen Hell, can you see their emoji?
Not yet.
If you guys not display the emoji, we are not living here. I have less than 15%. So let's see how much we can go.
Yes, you can go ahead now.
All right. So now GitHub actually has its own language, and it is called Markdown. It is called Markdown. Am I communicating? It is called Markdown. Now, how do we go about it? Ash, you see this ash in GitHub, it's actually big heading. 2 ash, it is medium heading. 3 ash, it is small heading. Now, let me show you that. So I'll come here. I think I have a Markdown here. So I'll just copy this. This one have 1 ash. This one has 2 ash. And let's see what it will show us. You go back to your canvas that you already saved with .md. Then you now come here and just paste it. Now, can you see, hello, I am Aisha, about me. Let's commit these changes and let's see what it looks like. Now, whenever you are done writing, whatever it is you want to write here, you come to commit changes. Commit changes. Then you're going to commit. Just like you already click on commit changes. You're going to click on commit changes here again. So it's not going to show you what it looks like. That commit changes is just like saving. Just like you're going to save your work, Control S, right, on the Word document. So this is what it looks like. We already have the about me as a file. You know, we said this is actually a repository, and we have files inside of that repository, and that files are called readme files. So now the about me that we created is what I'm about to open now. Can you see what it looks like? Can you see what it looks like? You guys should respond, please.
Yes, we can see it.
Yeah. So one hash actually makes the heading so bold. Another hash actually makes it not too bold. Can you see? So one is big heading. It's not bold. It's actually big. One is big heading, just like the way you have heading 1, heading 2, heading 3. This is actually heading 1, and this 2 hash is actually heading 2. So those are the language GitHub understand. If you just go ahead and just write hello, I am Aisha without adding that hash, it will not bring it. It will not. It will just be like, it will just be plain. It will not make sense. It will not come out the way it is. Do you understand? Now, if we now want to keep editing this, GitHub is so flexible to use, and it's actually so easy to use. You can always edit your file over and over again, and you can keep saving as much as you want. If you want to edit, you just come to this pencil icon. Can we just see this pencil icon? Can we just see this pencil icon, please?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, so you're going to click on this, edit, and it will take you back to where we were coming from. Can you see where we were coming from? So let's continue. Now, the next thing is actually to now go to another language that GitHub understand, which is bold. Bold. So if you want to bold in, we have 2 stars. Just like you have WhatsApp now. You know, when you actually want to bold in a text on WhatsApp, you add star at the back and star at the front. But GitHub understands 2 stars. So 2 stars like this at the beginning and 2 stars at the end. That's how you bold in a text on GitHub. So let me give a sample and let's do that. So this one now, I'm going to copy. I'm a data analyst. This. I'll just copy everything. Some of it are bolding, so you can understand what I mean. So let's come here, and you move to number 3. GitHub actually has a way of giving everything in numbers, and you just paste it. So let's commit changes and let's see what it looks like. Can you see this? Can you see that Excel is bolding, SQL is bold, Power BI is bold, and Python? It is because 2 stars is added at the end and 2 stars is added at the beginning. Am I communicating? So GitHub actually, has a way of, using, when you actually use all of these, what's it called? All these things I've talked about, stars, hash, it actually makes the whole front end, it makes it look so amazing, just like the way it is right now. So the third language, which GitHub understand, another one is, oh my God. Another one is listing, right? We have listing. Let me show you what that is. Like you want to list. So you can either use 1, 2, 3 or hyphen to actually list. So I'm going to be using this as example, this particular, my technical skills and all. So can you see that it is in hyphen initially? So the moment we now put it on GitHub canvas, it's going to be it's going to be bulletin. So hyphen is a bulletin on GitHub. Hashtag is heading 1, 2 hashtag is heading 2. Star is bolding on GitHub. Which other one? Hyphen is bulletin on GitHub. So all these things are called markdown language that GitHub understand. And if you actually want to communicate, can you see what I'm talking about? Can you see that it's now in bulletin? What was once hyphen, it is now in bulletin. So these are the things that GitHub understand, and that is how we actually like document your work on GitHub. So now let's go to how to upload on GitHub. So you will see that I actually uploaded some files, like I uploaded my dashboard, like this dashboard you see here now. I'm going to show you this dashboard. It was uploaded actually. So there is a way you can also upload your document. Maybe you want to upload a PDF, maybe you want to upload your dashboard. You just have to screenshot it and have it well knit, just like this one. Then you go to your GitHub, right? You're going to come to this round circle. You go to this round circle, you go to your profile. It will show you all of the work you've worked on, like everything. Now, my repositories are now 14 instead of 13 because you've already added one. So you're going to click on that particular repositories. I told you that repository is folder, right? So you're going to click on it just like that and go to that particular one that you created. This is the one we created, called Aisha 10. Then once you are inside that particular repository, once you are inside of it, then you're going to see a plus icon. Just the way we create a file inside the repository all the time. You're going to see a plus icon. I don't know why this thing is slow. It's not this plus icon. It is this one. You're going to click this plus icon and you see upload files. So once you click on upload files, then you'll be able to, it's going to link you to your files on your computer. You can either drag or choose. So you're going to choose the file just like this. Then if you have the file somewhere, maybe on your pictures, you just come there. I think I have one. Let me just pick one. There was this dashboard I worked on one time like that. So let me just pick this one, e-store analysis, and you open it. So once you choose it just like that, it's going to upload automatically. It's going to what? Upload automatically. Now, it has been uploaded. You just commit changes. Just like we have been committing changes for the file we created earlier. You will just commit changes. And it's going to be saved as the name you saved it on your computer. So if you want to upload a file on GitHub, you have to save it with the name that you want people to see it as. Can you see that one is saved as e-store analysis 2, right? The name you want people to actually see it as. Maybe you are working on it.
You have to save that particular file that is uploaded with the name that you want people to see it as. So if you are working on, say, maybe a particular company, say Coca-Cola sales analysis, that dashboard, you have to first save it on your computer as Coca-Cola overview analysis, or maybe Coca-Cola insight, whatever it is, whatever that dashboard is, because of course your dashboard also has a name. So maybe it's an overview, maybe it's actually customer demographics dashboard, maybe it is actually churn analysis dashboard. You have to save it as that before you now upload it on your GitHub. So that is what it is all about when it comes to setting up GitHub and all like that and like that. So these are the ways and how, number one, how you document your work on GitHub, and also how to set up your portfolio on GitHub. And this is how you move from just having your work put in your file on your computer, and also having it documented on your portfolio on GitHub. Because the moment you actually take a shift from just dumping your work on your computer to now pushing it on your GitHub, your portfolio, like right on your GitHub, it actually takes you from someone who just say I can do this to someone who now shows that you can truly do it. So we've talked about what a GitHub is, how to set up your portfolios on GitHub, and also some other things. But one thing you have to always know is that it is very, very important that you pin your best project on your profile. Just like when you actually scroll through my profile, you will see some of my projects that you don't even have to click on repositories before you see them. Those are the things you also learn in the course of the mentorship. There will be another session where you're going to now have the full class on how to like build on GitHub and everything. Like the mentorship will be starting this week. That is like we're going to be having our onboarding session Friday, at most Saturday. And also the cost of the mentorship is 20,000 naira. And there's also a flexible system for those that do not have the money at once. So the whole goal is we just want to ensure that we are part of your journey from where you are to that particular point of landing job easily. However, this is actually something that we involve you putting in the effort. I will not even lie to you. For every of my work you see out there are something that I put in efforts to do. After you work on that project, you will now come and document. So if you know that you will not be able to put in the effort, you should not join, because it's just like you are wasting your money. It's very, very important that you know that whenever you are investing money, you also be investing the effort. Our team, we try as much as possible to give you a very good learning environment. We are going to be there to help you every step of the way. We are going to be paired in team to make the work easy. There are going to be analysts that will be guiding you whenever you are stuck. But it's still very, very much important that you make yourself available. As much as we are there to guide you, you also have to make yourself available for the mentorship. So thank you so much. We have to call it a day. So thank you so much, everyone, for staying till this end, and see you in the mentorship class.